Can you hear me now? Hope I fixed it. Yeah, I hate it when there's no audio. I'm sorry. You can't hear me saying I'm sorry, but I hope it fixed the problem. Let me unplug this thing here and plug it back in. Trying to fix my audio problems, people. You kidding me now? What the hell? There we go. Okay, the last person told me I had no audio, so thank you for letting me know. I hate it when there's no audio. I hope I fixed it. Okay, there we go. I think it was the phone button. Can you hear me now? Can people hear me? I'm trying to get this audio fixed right. Can you hear me now? North Storm, can you hear me? Thumpaholic, yeah. Sorry I got muted. Can you hear me now? I got a new audio system and it don't seem to be working either. Man, I tell you, I got my share of problems here. Okay, just take this audio out and just use my audio on my phone. Okay, people, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, people? Someone say yes, please. Someone say yes if you can hear me. I'm trying to fix my audio. No one's going to say yes, huh? I guess you can't hear me then. Can you hear me now? I'm trying to fix my audio. Somebody say yes if they can hear me. Okay, thank you, sir. I hate going an hour, 2 hours without any audio. I'm trying to always fix my audio. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, I don't like episode number 57. I was out here and I did a 40 trout day. And that day, I had no audio for 3 hours. And it was such a beautiful episode, catching that many fish. I was kind of disappointed in myself. So I've been working through with Amazon, trying to find different types of audio for my iPhone 14. And the first one made me sound like I was in a stadium. This one, I'm trying, and this one wasn't working today either. So it's something I got to iron out there. But I'm just using the phone itself now. And I got it on a chest mount, so it ought to be close to my voice. And thank you for letting me know there was no audio, and thank you for letting me know there is now. We're down here, Foster Pond in Rochester, Minnesota. We're ice fishing for rainbow trout. We haven't had a bump yet, so, and we're going almost on our 10th hole. You're going to hear those cracking and bellowing sounds underneath my feet. That's the ice, making more ice. It's like 12 degrees out here, so we're making more ice. Okay, we got some more ice fishermen coming out finally. I guess they waited till it got a little warmer. They're all the way on the other side of the pond over there. Come on, I need a bump. I need a bump. Yeah, we did about 12, 13 holes. We're going out and we're looking for the rainbow trout instead of just sitting on top of one hole. And so far, well, I think I just had a bump. Let's see if it comes back and gets it. All that cracking underneath my feet you can hear, and the bellowing. It's the ice being expanded because it's so cold out. It's making more ice and needs to expand, so you're going to see cracks in the ice and stuff. But it is 14 inches of ice underneath my feet. Anything over 4, yeah, there's a bite. Here we go. Here we go, people. Just had a bite. So I might have found one. Let's see if I can hook them and pull them out. And that was about 10 feet down. 10 to 12 feet down, we had a bite. So they're down a little further today. Come on back and hit me. Well, it was just one bump, and that was it. I don't see any swimming around down there. But maybe the bite will get a little better finally. Here we go. Oh, yeah. There's one. Score! There's one right there. Yes, sir. What we got over here that fell off? There's one. Whoops, come on, get back. You see him? There he is. There's one. We're on the board. There's some rainbow action. Yes, sir. Where the hell did that come from? It's not the biggest, but hey, we're on the board list. Okay. All right, get some rainbow action. Is my phone steady on there? Yeah. I got my trusty hemostats. That way I don't even have to touch the fish. But that's what we're looking at, people. All right. Some rainbow action. How's it look? How's it look? All right, that's what it's all about, people. Like, join, subscribe. All right, that's our first on the ice. He was about 10 feet down. We got him by the nose. So it's nice and, I mean, when you hook him by the nose, we're not getting off. But the way I use these hemostats is I hold the fish by the hook real firmly, and then all I got to do is flick my wrist like this and take him off the hook. All right, now watch. Without even touching the fish. Kerplunk. Yes, sir, that's the way it goes. That's our first. Let's get back down there and see if we find another one, okay? Let's see if we find another one down there. Had some round button fall off my gear here. I'm wondering where it came from. All right, let's get down there. Let's get back down there. Maybe there's another one down there, or they're finally waking up, huh, people? Okay, we're on the board. We got one at least, and we got our sound back. So, people, I won't be standing there talking and nothing's recording. I took my case off my iPhone and I'm just using the iPhone microphone right now because the microphone I bought from Amazon wasn't working properly. The last one made me sound like I was in a stadium. So some of these cheap microphones, if you want to vlog, here's another one. Here's another one. Another one. I think they're waking up finally, people. They're waking up. They're taking it about 7-8 feet down. How many are down there? Come on and hit me. Let's see if we find them. They're about 7-8 feet down there. They're starting to wake up and they're starting to bite. We got one so far, and I'm having more bites down this hole, so this is going to be a good hole, I think. Just got to be patient, and we'll get another one. You hear a lot of cracking underneath my feet, I mean. That's the ice expanding, my friends. Is that the stock truck coming down the hill? Oh, I hope if that's the stock truck going to come down the hill, or maybe it's some truck driver just going to the bathroom, we're going to have a 40 fish day if that's a stock truck. Well, we had one, and we had a couple bites down this hole. Well, I thought the stock truck came last week with 800. So if that's a stock truck showing up again, boy, they must have a lot of extra fish. We'll find out in about 5 minutes whether he leaves or comes rolling down that hill. That's where the hill, we're over there where he comes down. Yeah, that was just a truck. Wasn't a stock truck. He's leaving. Bummer. Was a little excited in there for a minute. Usually when the stock truck comes, you drill holes right where they're stocking them, and you get 20 to 40 fish a day. And of course, you let them all go, and you only keep 3, if you're keeping it all. I usually don't keep. Okay, at least we got one today so far. We got our audio problem ironed out too. This morning I was working on my first hour and had no audio, so I hate when that happens because then I'm talking to myself. Nothing's being recorded audio-wise. So thank you for people out there. Let me know. Multiple people were saying, no audio, no audio. Some of these cheap little audio systems they sell, they just don't work properly. So okay, that might have been just a stranger swimming around that I caught the first one. It wasn't really extremely big. It was about maybe 8 to 10 inches. But she was down about 10 feet. I guess maybe we'll move to the next hole. Maybe they're down out a little further in deeper water. Yep, all those little cracking, that's under my feet. That's the ice expanding, my friends. That's what that sound is. How's everybody doing this morning? Glad to have you in my channel. If you like what you're seeing, like, subscribe. Thank you. Person that commented that was cool. What's up? Yeah, we're going to see if we find these rainbow trout at Foster Wren Park in Rochester, Minnesota. See if we find some more of those rainbow trout. The last one I got was about 10 feet down. Why they're running 10 feet down, I don't know. The pressure is high. It should be up a little higher. So, yeah, thank you for sticking around. I had audio problems earlier, the first half hour, 45 minutes. I fixed them. Just took my iPhone out of the case and just went plain old iPhone 14 microphone. Yeah, I got to be very leery of my audio system. I don't like talking for 2 hours and then go home and find out, no, there was no audio on the whole show. I did that on a 40 fish day, which would have made an excellent program to watch, except it had no audio. So I sat there and talked for 3 hours with no audio. Come on, we got anybody else down there? Anybody else down there? I think we'll move on to the next hole. That was just one stray one that I found, I guess, down that hole. But you could hear the ice cracking underneath my feet. But there's 14 inches, so it's not cracking in per se as like you're going through. If you're an ice fisherman, you get used to it. It cracks and bellows underneath your feet. Like an earthquake, it makes crack, but that doesn't mean that you're going underneath the ground or the ice. It's just pressure making more ice. That's why it cracks. But completely safe. Oh, my battery is getting a little... No. Yeah, we got enough battery for another hour. We'll try to find them within the next hour. We got one, but I like to get at least 3 to 5 per day. But the rainbow trout don't always cooperate. Some days are better than others. It's all about timing. Sometimes I'm down here and it's a morning bite and I'm coming strolling down in the afternoon thinking I'm going to catch something. And then it's an evening bite. So it's all about timing, my friends. All right, I think I worked this hole enough. If anything's down there, it would have bit me. Okay, let's move to the next hole, huh? Yep, I do about 7 to 10 holes, clean them all out, and then just, that way I could jump from one hole to another. And this is my next hole in it. See? You can see the lures on the top. It's already frozen. So I'm out here in 10-degree weather. Please like, subscribe. I appreciate it. Warms me heart, mate. Warms me heart, mate. Okay, we'll go down there about 10 feet again, see if we find any. That's about where I found them last time. We're in Foster Park in Rochester, Minnesota. That's what they all say, huh? Hello, mate. Welcome to my channel. We're ice fishing out here in Rochester, Minnesota. We got one on the ice so far. We're going to try to get some more. They're down a little deep today, down about 10 feet, so it can be challenging to set the hook when they get down low, too low in the water column, especially in the 20-foot range, 15 to 20-foot range. But I'm going to bump the rod up and down every now and then, work that jig, make it look alive, and see if anything swims up. It'll swim up, bump the lure. Then I know he's down there. Then I slow down the jig and let him come around and try to take it. So, boom, set the hook. Beautiful day out here. The temperature's rising. And we're fishing for rainbow trout. This is a year-round, no season, special regulation pond located in Rochester, Minnesota at Foster Arends, A-R-E-N-D-S, Park in Rochester, Minnesota. And the Lanesboro hatchery stocks 600 to 1,000 every 2 weeks. Last week they put in 800. And they were some hefty ones, some 13 to 15 inch rainbow trouts they put in. They had some nice meaty fillets on them. I got me a 15 last week and it was a beauty. About 1.5 pound fish. But I let them go. I get a lot of trout here in the wintertime, in the summer, spring, not the summer, but the spring and fall. I might get about 1,500 rainbow trout per year. If you look on my channel, you'll see that's all I catch is a lot of rainbow trout, carp, and crappie. And I'm a seasonal fisherman, but I'm a sport fisherman. I don't keep a lot of this stuff. Some people only target the fish they can eat. And you know what? I get enough food. I don't need to eat fish. If I want to eat fish, I'm going to eat steelhead from Cub or salmon, something I can't catch. Not something I can catch. Yeah, if I'm going to catch some fish I'm going to eat, maybe it might be perch or walleye. Yeah, I had an audio problem earlier, so I'm glad you guys can hear me now. I'm extremely glad. I hate to do a 2 or 3 hour show with no audio, and people are just guessing what I'm saying, because I am an avid talker, and I do interact with you guys when you comment, because I got you on a chest mount, and I could see up close what you're commenting. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the channel. We're out here fishing rainbow trout in Rochester, Minnesota. Stocked pond. They stock it year round except for in the summertime. Every 2 weeks. They stock it 600 to 1,000. Come on. I know they're biting now. Hit me. I'm waiting to feel a bump, and there's no bump. Once you feel that bump, you know they're down there. And give them 20, 30 seconds to come back and try to take your lure, and then boom, set the hook. Yes, sir. Hope everybody's doing well today in a nice warm house. I'm out here. It's about 10 degrees. Yeah, 10 to 12, something like that. At least there's no wind. We don't have a wind chill factor to deal with today. We got one rainbow. We got to do better than that. Come on. We need some more. The bite sometimes is you walk right on the ice, you do your first hole. Sometimes the bite is there. Boom. First hole, you're catching 5. Other days, you do 15, 20 holes, and you might find 2 or 3. So it's sporadic, to say the least. Some days are better than others. I've had 2 40 fish days now in the past month, though. And that's a fact. You can look on my live shows. I had 2 of them where I caught 40. And other ones I only caught 20. And some of them I came up goose egg, nothing. So but I'm just starting to do these live shows. This is episode 60. So I'm working through my audio problems. I'm working through a lot of things, and trying to provide you people with a good show of ice fishing on the ice, and doing my best. So if you can, please like, subscribe, comment. I got you on a chest mount so I could read your comments and apply accordingly. I like interacting with the people that do come into the room, the channel, should I say, and comment certain comments. So we'll slowly bring that jig up and jig some more. They might be swimming at different depths, and try to find the depth they're swimming at. Yeah, the last one I brought up look a little rugged, if you ask me, like it's been caught before, missing some scales and stuff, so not as shiny as they usually are. Come on, we need another stray one to come in and bounce my lure. Down there pretty deep, and I don't see any swimming around down there. Every now and then you'll see them swim in and at least check out the lure. So that was definitely a stray one that I found. But he was down deep, about 10 feet, so we'll go down one more time, about 15 feet, and work our way back up, and then we'll go to the next hole. Okay, people? I'm on about my 10th, 12th hole here. We did about 15 so far. We're 30 feet between the holes, and we're trying to find where the fish are on the pond first. Then when we find them, we can do closer holes in proximity. But you got to find them first. My ideology is, instead of just like those guys sitting over there, all the way out there, they're just sitting on one hole. I like to find them. I like to get the rainbow action going. So I'm not feeling any bump down here, and I'm about 15, 17 feet down. I'm going to slowly bring it up and work my way towards the next hole. Next hole's about 30 feet away. We got 3 more to work, and then we'll have to do some more in another direction and see if we can find them. See if we find where these rainbow trout are hiding in this pond. Okay, that phone's on there nice and tight. Got you on a chest mount with my iPhone 14 Pro. And I'm a little leery. I don't want that phone dropping down that hole there. And then I'm going to need a new phone. Got no case on it, got nothing. All right, let's bring this up and we'll work our way to the next hole. Nothing swimming through. All right, let's go to the next hole. We worked that one. All right, let's try this one here. You got to scrape the top because ice is forming. It's cold enough to form within 2-3 minutes. So you got to have a scooper and have a measuring stick on it so you can measure how thick the ice is each hole you do. That's just a safety precaution so you know personally how thick the ice is, not just guessing. I don't like guessing. I don't like playing monkey see, monkey do. Okay, we're going to drop it down about 10, 15 feet. We're in deeper water now. We're getting into the 20-foot range. So if they're down there, they're here. All right, we're going to let that sit for a minute. Bounce it. Wait for a little bump. And that little bump will be the fish just nipping it or lipping it. Sometimes they hit it with their nose. Try to stun it. Sometimes they swim up with a minnow. You put a minnow on a hook. They swim up and hit it with their tail first. Then they come around a UB and open their mouth because the fish is then stunned after they hit it with their tail. Then it's easy prey. But these fish have been very skittish this year. You'll drill a hole and they scatter, they swim away. Usually they're not skittish. Usually they don't care about the auger sounds. But you can hear that bellowing underneath my feet and cracking. That's the ice expanding. It's cold enough to... The ice is making more ice. Please like, subscribe, comment if you will. I got you on the chest mount. I can see all your comments and everybody's saying hi. I could see that. Earlier, everybody was telling me I had no audio, and I fixed that, so I need just Bluetooth audio or something that I could just, I'm going to have to look on Amazon again. I can't go 2-3 hour shows without no good audio, clear, crisp. The past 2 audio systems I bought, the first one sounded like I was in a stadium. Then the next one I just got that I hooked up today, I don't know, for some odd reason it was silent. It was mute. And, but it was only $10, so. So I just took my case off my phone and I'm using the iPhone microphone, which I know you people can hear me now. That's all my biggest concern is so everybody can hear me. Okay, we got a longer comment down there. That's what they all say. Oh. I read that one already. So I'm waiting for a bump down here. And once I get a bump, then I know a rainbow trout's down there. But it seems like they're swirling around and hiding in some spot out in this pond the size of 3 football fields. You gotta do 20, 30 holes some days to find them. And there'll be a couple that are just strays swimming around. And that's what I caught, was a stray, I think. Because when you usually catch, that rainbow tornado is what I coined it. When you usually find that rainbow tornado, you're getting one every minute. There's so many down there, and you can look right down the hole and see like 10, 20 down there, just swirling around in a circle. That's what I believe they do in the hatchery because of limited space. So they put them in here every 2 weeks, stock trout. They're not gonna change. They're gonna swim around and swirl around like they do in the hatchery. That's what I truly believe. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well. Good day, folks. It's about 12 degrees out here. It's nice and sunny, though. It's starting to warm up degree by degree. Or my hands don't feel like you got pins and needles in them. But we're ice fishing out here in Rochester, Minnesota for rainbow trout. We got one, but they're not really traveling around too much today because otherwise I would feel them bumping my lure. I'm sure they're mighty hungry down there, but they're just not traveling around today. Or they're held up in one spot deep, like 15, 20 feet, and they haven't risen yet. But they will rise today. It's all about their timing and our timing meeting together. And I'm just jigging, trying to find them. Oh, my battery looks like it's getting really low. I should hook up my battery pack. I got an extended battery pack. Let me throw one of them on. That's what that looks like, an extended battery pack. Bring the phone up a little without dropping it in the water. Nice and tight. All right. There we go. Yeah, I was in the red. Like 10% battery. So I needed this pack on really bad. Now we're charging. They have magnetized battery packs instead of all those wires and stuff you gotta get. I used to have the ones with the wires. I got tired of all the wires. Now I just go with the magnetized ones. As long as that battery pack ain't going to jump off my phone and go down that hole, I'm getting ready to catch it, just in case. They're about 23 bucks a piece. Let's see if we find another rainbow out here. It was only one so far today, so you keep jigging until you feel a little tug or a little nibble. Then you stop jigging and wait for them to come around, swim around, and try to take it off you. And then boom, set the hook. Yes, sir. But you hear all that cracking underneath my feet. That's the ice. It's expanding, actually. You get used to it when you're an ice fisherman. It's so cold, it's making more ice underneath the feet, my feet. Yeah, it'd be nice if I found a hole where there are 2 or 3 bites down it. Then I'd know there are more than one fish down there. But this is ice fishing. You got to have patience for the fish. Sometimes they're biting, sometimes they're not. They're not always feeding. All right, now I'm near the top. Any fish swimming around down there? Yeah, none of them swimming around down there. We're working the jig and nothing's going after it over here. Okay, I think we'll go to the next hole now. Let's go to the next. Yep, there goes my charger. Right on the ice. Ugh. Let's go to the next hole. All right, that froze up a little, you can see. Yeah, I gotta get the ice out without losing my charger. Worst scenario, to lose my charger and my phone down the hole. That would be about $1,250. Okay, we're down about 10 feet and we're going to start jigging. And wait for that bump. Once you feel that bump, you know the fish is down there, and then you stop jigging, wait for him to take that jig, and boom, set the hook. Yes, sir. Okay, we're working 2 more holes. We've done about 12 holes so far, I think. But we're looking for the rainbows at least. We're not sitting in one spot. So we're really trying. So please hit that like. Please hit the subscribe. Comment, if you will. We had 1 so far today. It's better than a 0 day. But it's not the best day that I've ever had. The best day, I've had 2 days that were really fantastic. 2 days this month. 40 fish in 1.5, 2 hours each day. And that was the day when the stock truck came, and we were right there when the stock truck came down, rolling down the hill. So we were right there where they stocked them all, and that's why I got so many. Yes, sir. It's making noise underneath my feet. That's what that sound is. That bellow cracking underneath my feet. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. We're ice fishing out in Rochester, Minnesota. It's a stocked pond with rainbow trout. Every 2 weeks, the Lanesboro hatchery stocks 600 to 1,000 fish in here. They put them in, we take them out. You're allowed to keep 3. But it's year-round trout fishing. There is no season. Compliments of the Lanesboro hatchery. Yes, sir. Where's all these rainbow trout? They put in 800 last week. They should be swimming all around looking for food. Come on, hit me. There's a lot of fish in here. There's more than 800. There's probably thousands of fish in here. But what they do is, after they put them in and they get accustomed to the shoreline, they swim around the shoreline for a day or two, and then they all end up in a 20 to 30 foot hole. And they swirl around and follow alpha male and swirl around, and some of them tear off this tornado or the swirl, like I say, and they find a comfortable spot in the pond where they rise from the 20-foot range up to the 10 and the 8. And that's when they're swimming around looking for food. And I think, it's a lot, like 3 football fields to cover here. So there's a lot of area to cover. It's not vast, but it's a lot of area. There we go, there we go, there we go. All the way from the bottom, and I missed him. I couldn't set that hook. It was down so deep. Couldn't set the hook. I had one, though. I didn't want to lose my phone adapter. I had one. They're down there deep. That would have been number 2. I had one. Very leery about losing this phone down that hole, or my phone adapter, or charger, should I say. But they're down there. They're just down there deep. And I should put on another piece of beaver tail. He took that beaver tail. That's what we're working with today, people. A little green jig, and we're going to put on a piece of beaver tail. But we're charging my phone battery because I got down to 10%, and I didn't want to lose my battery. I mean, my YouTube phone would have shut down, and I didn't want that to happen. So we're going to put another piece of beaver tail on. Beaver tail, what are we talking about? This right here. I'm using this, Diggers, right here. Diggers jig tails. It's actual beaver tail that they dye. And you put it on the end of your hook. Here's some purple ones. They're real slimy. They're soaked in fish oil. And the pack's extremely hard to get open sometimes. But we're going to get it open and get a piece out. Put it on the end of the hook. Show you what I mean, how slimy they are. They got soaked in fish oil. There we go. Looks like a little maggot, huh? Close it back up with the zip top. Put it back in the pocket. Now when I put this on the hook, it's not like a wax worm or a jig. It flutters in the water and they can't take it off the hook. It's extremely hard for them to steal it off the hook. Like a wax worm, they could steal off the hook. A butter worm, but this will flutter in the water because it's buoyant. Beaver tail is buoyant. So, all right, we got that going now. Let's get that back down about 10 feet, 12 feet. See if we find him again. I almost had that one, came off the hook. I didn't set that hook hard enough because I didn't want to pull my arms up that high where I lose my phone or my battery charger here, because I would have just caught it and let it go. So we'll try it again till we get it right. Yeah, it's probably about 13, 14 degrees out here. It's getting just a wee bit warmer. Yeah, I'm down there deep. I'm about 20 feet. We'll bring it up just a wee bit. And we'll start jigging again. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. We're going on 2 hours. 2 hours of record time. We're out here in Rochester, Minnesota. We're ice fishing for rainbow trout. I had one on. It was really far down, 12 to 15 feet, and by the time I got him up close to the hole, he came off the hook. So that hook wasn't set on. It's hard to set the hook when they're down that deep, I tell you. You can feel them nibble your lure, but it's hard to set that hook. You got to bring your arms all the way above your head because you got too much slack in the line. It wasn't the biggest one anyway. It was about a 10-inch one, 8 to 10. I seen them. I almost had them out, you know, on the ice, about a foot underneath the ice, and then they came off. But we did catch one today. And some days it's 10 fish I catch. Some days it's 20. Some days it's 40. I had 2 40 days this month so far. This is episode number 60 on all the live streams I'm doing on YouTube. I'm going to do more live streams because I'm monetized now, and I'll see how much they pay me and evaluate whether it's worth it or not. But I do enjoy doing these shows, people, so I think I'll do them even if I'm not getting paid that much. But there is the hassle of keeping the phone charged and other equipment I got to buy, so I don't know. I'm having problems with my audio equipment. Okay, I'm going to come up. These fish shouldn't be down so deep. Okay, now I can see my lure, so that's probably about 10 feet down. Yeah, that was another one probably just swimming by that I found. Okay, maybe we should just move on to the next hole. We may have to do some more holes. We did about 13, 14 so far. Or we backtrack and go to the old holes. But if they're not swimming around underneath the ice, I think they're down deeper. 2 of them I got, and they were down deep. They were down 12, 13 feet deep. It tells me they're not just swimming right underneath the ice. They're down deep. All right, let's go to the next hole. We'll bring this up and go to the next hole. All right, people, let's go to the next hole. All right, let's get our scooper out, and we got to clean the ice off the top of the hole. It's iced up since I drilled it like an hour ago. All right, we're good there. We'll get that jig down there, and we'll drop it down about 10 to 15 feet. Yes, sir. Oh. There we go. And then we'll just start jigging it. See if anybody's down there. I hope somebody's down there. Otherwise, I'm going to do another 4 or 5 holes, and that may be my last 4 or 5 holes because it don't look like too much of a promising day. The bite is real subtle, and there's not many traveling around. I could have missed it. It was probably this morning the bite was. It's extremely dark underneath this ice, though. Excuse me. So you just never know, what time of day they're going to come out of that 30-foot hole, 25 feet, and start swimming around. We're on their time schedule. They're not on ours. That's the ice cracking underneath my feet. It's getting more ice. It's cold enough. I think they're down deep, 10, 12 feet. You keep jigging till you feel one of them swim by, and they'll bump it, and then you know they're down there. We've found 2 so far today, so it's not an exceptional day, actually. If you get 3, it's a good day. But it matters how many hours you're down here. Some people come down here the first hole, they get 3, and within 10 minutes. That's when the fish are traveling all over the place and they're looking for food. I think they're hung up in some hole someplace. Yep, hiding. All we got to do is find them, but we're not having much luck finding them. This is a pond the size of 3 football fields, so it's not vast, but it would take a coordinated effort and just sheer luck to happenstance right on top of that rainbow tornado and find them. Otherwise, what I'm doing is just catching a couple strays. How's everybody doing out there today? I'm out here in Rochester, Minnesota. We're ice fishing on 14 inches of ice. 12-degree weather. We found 2 so far and lost the 1 out of the 2. Yeah, we're down deep. Hard to set the hook when they're down real deep. Yep, not feeling any bites down this hole. This is about our 13th hole we did. 14th. And we should be feeling some sort of bite. We're not. We'll bring it up a little and maybe we'll do a couple more holes, maybe not. It doesn't look like too good of a day to be fishing. These trout are very fickle fish. Some days they're just down 15, 20 feet, just sucking water. Other days they're traveling around. I could do 20 more holes and come up with the same result, and that would be insanity. So sometimes it's just lucky when you fall upon a school trout in here. They happen to be, it's the right time, the right place. You're traveling, the trout are traveling around, you're on down on the ice, and other days somebody else is catching them, and you're getting 0. So, but they do stock it every 2 weeks, so more and more get put in here, and your chances raise as the weeks go by. Just don't want this phone battery or the phone to fall in a hole, and you'll hear me screaming then. Yeah, I went down there pretty deep, like about 20 feet, and still didn't get a bite. And I'm about 12 right now, and I'm still not seeing nothing down there. Nothing at all. I'll tell you what, instead of doing new holes, maybe I'll just work my way off the ice and we'll try the old holes that we went down. If we can't find anything, then, whoop, there's one that just went by. There's one, just swam right by me. All right, I'm ready. You could keep an eye down the hole and you could see him swim by. But that's just one stray one. Sometimes you're going to see 10 down there in the hole. All right, where'd he go? Come on back. He was down deep, though. Yeah, he swam by and kept swimming. How about that? He didn't even come back around to see if he wanted to eat it. All right, yeah, we're going to start working our way off the ice. And you know I'll definitely be doing another show within the next 2 days or 3 days. Either Thursday or Friday I'm doing one. I don't know about tomorrow. The winds are going to be really strong tomorrow. And I got to work out this audio issue on my phone. Sometimes I'm doing shows and an hour in, I don't even know there's no audio. Yeah, they're running deep today for some reason. It got to be low pressure. Low pressure pushes them down deeper into the water. Their swim bladders dictate that, and the high barometric pressure will bring them up higher underneath the ice, which they're not today. I hadn't seen one up in the water column high, all down low. So I say we start working our way off the ice, because if I do another 20, 30 holes, just drain my batteries, I'm going to get the same result as I am right now, unless I get lucky and just find them. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to get lucky today. Things that have not been going my way today, between the audio and a lot of stuff. Broke one of these batteries today, these cheap Milwaukee batteries, landed in the parking lot on the asphalt and it cracked. Yeah, a lot of things ain't going my way today, folks. Hate to say it. You have days like that. So I did about 12 holes. Today, 13. We're going to just work the holes that I already drilled. And we'll see if we find them down there. All right. Let's work these holes that I already drilled today. And we'll see if we find them down there. And then we'll come back like Thursday or Friday and see if we find them another time after my battery's all charged up on my phone. It only lasts about 2 hours, an iPhone battery, or 2.5. And then your phone's going to shut down because the battery's almost dead. Live shows take a lot out of your battery. But I'm going to drop it down deep and jig, do each one of these holes for about 5 minutes, and see if we find some. If not, we'll just call it a day, you know. I'm just spinning my wheels out here then, the way I see it. Not going to be a spectacular day, but at least I didn't get skunked today. It's all about timing with trout. You come down here at the right time, and they're just, boy, one after another. Boom, 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 boom. You're pulling them all up. The next day, it could be nothing. The next day, it could be zero. I've caught 40 twice in a day. And then my worst, I got skunked 3 days in a row. So there's that, you know? You can't be a winner every day of your life. It's impossible. All right, let's slowly bring this up, and we'll work the different columns of water. See if anything's down there swimming around. If there is, we'll see that green furry jig and beaver tail and go after it. If not, we move on to the next hole. Hope everybody's doing okay today. Please, if you like ice fishing or you're interested in it or find it exciting to watch, please join, subscribe, comment. I got you on a chest, man. I can see your comments when you post them. But right now, I have a phone charger magnetized on the back. So I don't want to flip my phone to read the comments, because then my magnetized charger is going to flop off it down that hole. And that's $25 loss. So I will answer your comments, though, but usually when my phone's charged, I enjoy interacting with you guys. But right now, I'm charging my phone, and I'm kind of occupied trying to find these rainbow trout. Where are they hiding? I got one today. The other one I lost bringing up because the hook wasn't set. He was down about 15 feet. It's harder to set the hook when you're down that deep. Anything over 10 gets a little hard to set the hook. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm working my way off the ice. I'm kind of hungry. And I don't feel like doing another 10 holes with the same outcome, with little or no bite. If I was getting maybe a bite down every hole that I did, I'd stick around. I know they'd be biting. The bite would be much more heavier than it is today. I really enjoy doing the shows, though. I enjoy pulling up the fish on days like that. Not just sitting here randomly talking, trying different holes. I'd rather have you guys enjoying it too. Okay, let's slowly bring this up. Now we're just right underneath the ice and we see no fish down there. Yeah, let's go to the next hole. This is what we're using, though. This little green woolly jig with a little purple piece of beaver tail. The beaver tail's real beaver tail. Bought from Diggers, Jig Tails in Wisconsin. And it's buoyant and it flutters in the water. So, but it's extremely hard for the trout to steal it off the hook. That's why I love it. If you got a wax worm, if you got a mealworm, they'll take it off your hook, and before you know it, it's gone, and you're just jigging without one. Okay, let's go to the next hole. There we go, right here. Right here. We'll jig under this hole and see if we find anything down there. The ice is pretty thick. It's like 14 inches of ice down there. So we don't have to worry about that. We're only worried about finding a rainbow trout. All right, we'll go down there about 10, 15 feet, see if we find anything down this hole. And then we'll just start the jig. And wait for that bump. You'll feel that bump when he comes in and bumps it with his nose. Then you know you got a fish down there. You'll have to excuse me for not answering your comments, people. I got a magnetized battery charger on the back of my phone. Makes the phone extremely heavy. I don't want to tilt the phone over and end up losing it in the hole or out on the ice and breaking it. So I'm trying to recharge, otherwise my phone's going to be dead. But hi, and thank you for your comments. I appreciate them. Please like and subscribe. And we'll be back again on Thursday, which is going to be a nice day out here to be out in the ice. And take another swing at these rainbows. I think we might have better luck then than we are today. Because they're not bumping the lure. And when I do see them, they're just swimming right by. And I'm plenty far down there. I'm 12 to 15 feet down there. Even on the 20-foot range. We got no excuse not to eat that thing. They're just not traveling around today, that's all. There's only a couple traveling around. They're all held up in one area someplace, swirling around like a rainbow tornado. And that's what they do in the hatchery, so why would they change? And when you're jigging anywhere from 20 to 15 feet down, it's extremely hard to set that hook. You got a 50-50 shot. You're going to get the fish up over on the ice. Anything 10 feet to right underneath the ice, you got them. Because it's easier to set the hook. You only got to bring it up, a couple feet, your rod, to set the hook. But when they're down anything above 10 feet, 20 feet, you got to bring both arms above your head to set that hook and keep it taut while you're reeling it in, and it's extremely hard. But I'm glad you guys are here on my channel. Appreciate you guys that subbed, that commented today. And I'm jigging around down there. I don't see any strays swimming around. No fish swimming around. But it is is that one? It is a beautiful day. I'll tell you, there was one swam by. There we go. They're taking it now. They're taking it. Here we go. Here we go. They're taking it. One took a good swipe at it. Here we go. Now I'm getting bit. Now I'm getting bit. We're about 10 feet down. So apparently they're rising a little. But I'm getting nibbled at. We're going to see if we get one out of here. Okay? They're down deep though. Or maybe that was just it. It was a one or two down there. It went a little crazy on me, getting me crazy. And they might have swam out. Well, I'll put it down another foot or two and we'll jig here for a couple minutes. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody doing fine. We just had a couple bites. They weren't serious bites, they were little nibbles, but they're better than nothing. Trying to find them again. Yeah, that's close to 15 feet down. Ooh, there's one that just swam by. Just missed him. Okay, we're going to get one of these. They're swimming around. I seen the same one swim by about 3-4 times, or else maybe it's two of them down there. They're down deep, though. They're about 10-12 feet down. Yeah, every now and then you see a little silver flash, like a cheetah swim by. They come right in, and they're boom, they're gone. This is the most I've seen here, though. Come on, let's get one at least. And just like that. Just like that. Well, it's the most I've seen down the hole today. Within a couple hours, I'll tell you that. See, that's why I say it's all about timing. If I was just strolling down the ice right now at 1 o'clock, I could spend the next 2 hours playing with these and catching. I come down about 10, from 10 to 12, and 1, it's like 3 hours. And they start biting at the end of 3 hours. You know, you got to determine if you're going to stay the extra hour or you'll come back another day and take your shot at them again. And there's somebody swimming around down now. That's my shadow. They're down deep, though. For some odd reason, they're down deep. They're down like 10, 12 feet where you can just barely see your lure. And they come in and they're bouncing it. Trying to give this lure as much action as I can so they come back, swim back in and take it. But I think I'm going to sign out at 1 o'clock. Another 10 minutes. That's all I'm going to give these fools. I'm not going to stay here all day waiting for a nun bite. Yes, sir. My time is limited. I like to spend maybe 2-3 hours out here. But if I go 3 hours, I like to be out here when they're biting, you know? Otherwise, I feel like I'm just wasting everybody's time. I'm wasting my own time. I got honeydews to do, go to the store, do certain things. My car needs new windshield wipers. And yes, sir. And they just swam in, and as quickly as they swam in, they swam out. Who knows why and when? But there was a lot down there for that little heated 2 minutes. There was 2 or 3 of them swimming around. And I don't feel no more bumps anymore. All right, maybe we should work our way to the next hole. We'll go to the next hole, see if we find them, just like we did this one. Yep. Let's try the next hole and work our way towards off the ice. All right, let's clean this one out. We got a little layer of ice on the top. Scoop it out. Put our auger down. And let's get down there and see if we find them. Anything down this hole. Yep. Let's see if we find anything down this hole. We'll go down to 10, 12 feet that they're swimming at and start jigging around, see if we find them down this hole. That's all we could do. Hello, 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 everybody. Hope you all doing well. We're out here in Rochester, Minnesota at Foster Arends Park. It's a year-round special regulation trout fishing pond that the Lanesboro hatchery stocks every 2 weeks. 600 to 1,000. Some days, boy, I'm getting 10, 20, 30, 40. Other days, only 3 or 5. So, yeah, some days are better than others. So we're trying to find them today as we're working our way off the ice. I seen a couple at the last hole, but they must have swam in and swam out. And I'm starting to get a little hungry. It's been going on the 3-hour mark. And I'd rather waste my phone battery on days where I'm really catching them instead of when I'm not. So there is that. And I applaud you for watching, commenting, and liking and subscribing. If you haven't, please consider so, because usually there's days I'm getting 40 fish out of here within a couple hours. And that's the spectacular days. I had 2 of them this previous month. And they were live shows, so they were fun. Fun to do those shows when you pull them out every 5 minutes. Yes, sir. Extremely fun. Yeah, we're just trying to find them today. And they're not cooperating too much. We lost one and we had one. I've seen a couple swimming around, but it seems like they're just not hell-bent on eating today. The bite isn't ferocious today, to say the least. Some days the bite is really ferocious. Other days they just bump it and swim away. But when I'm catching them or I'm seeing them, they're like 10 to 12 feet down. So they're extremely hard to set the hook when they're down that deep too. So there's that. So I'm slowly bringing my lure up. I'm trying to charge my phone with my magnetized charger, and it feels like it's slipping off. That's why I'm not answering your comments. I don't want to bend over my phone too much where my charger falls down in the hole or my phone falls down in the hole. So please forgive me for not answering on your comments. I do enjoy interaction with you guys. All right, that was enough action for one day. There's what we're using, people. But no matter what you use, if the fish ain't biting, they ain't biting. Right? There's that. Okay, so next time we'll come out and we'll get them. All right? But I think I need to call it because they're not biting too ferociously. So thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys. And consider checking out my other stuff on YouTube, my live shows and my shorts. And we'll see you another day. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, people.